Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies. In this video, I'm going to do a review of the Red Spot Single Pot Still Irish Whiskey, aged 15 years. So the Red Spot is sort of the top of the line of the Spot series, which includes the Green Spot, the Green Spot Chateau Montelena, the Green Spot Léoville Barton, and then we have the Red Spot and the Blue Spot. So there's one more spot that I'll be reviewing, which I'll do in the next video. But before I get into this one, let me tell you a little bit about this whiskey. The Red Spot Single Pot Still Irish Whiskey, aged 15 years, was distilled in Middleton Distillery in Cork, Ireland. It was triple distilled in a pot still, made from malted and unmalted barley, aged 15 years in bourbon cask, Oloroso sherry cask, and Marsala cask. It is non-chill filtered. It's bottled at 46% alcohol by volume, and generally sells between $99 and $130 in the United States. So from other videos, you're probably already aware of bourbon cask and Oloroso sherry cask. I did an entire series on sherry and sherry cask finished whiskeys, but you may not be familiar with Marsala. So let me tell you a little bit about Marsala. Marsala is a fortified wine, it may be dry or sweet, produced in the region surrounding Marsala in Sicily, Italy. It's made from Italian white grapes, Grillo, Inzolia, Catarato, and Damasceno. So I really like fortified wines. I like sherry, I like port, I like Madeira. However, Marsala has never really wowed me. I think it's more known for making really nice dishes such as chicken Marsala. So while you can get a really nice aged Marsala, I would recommend to become familiar with the flavors is next time you're at a real nice high-end Italian restaurant, order yourself some chicken Marsala. And if you're looking for a wine to go with it, I would highly recommend a Pinot Noir. Alrighty, on the nose. So visually, it does have a slight red tinge to it. However, it's mostly sort of this gold and amber character, but it's got that slight red tinge to it. On the nose, it's very oxidative, it's very nutty. So I get some almonds, maybe a little bit of marzipan. Some of the aromas though are sort of challenging to identify. I get some oxidized, sort of dried apples. Maybe you've cut open an apple and left it out on the countertop. I get some sultanas, golden raisins. And I get a little bit of glazed quince. If you're not familiar with quince, quince looks like a pear. However, it's an extremely hard fruit. And so if you're ever going to eat quince, it's usually going to be baked. Usually have it as a dessert, and you can get it with a glaze on it. So if you're ever in a restaurant and they have some quince, glazed quince as a dessert, I highly recommend it. But that nuttiness definitely kicks in on the back end. That nuttiness character is coming from the Marsala as a fortified wine. It's the oxidization of a fortified wine that gives it those nutty characters. On the palate, one more. It's sweet on entry, dries out a little bit towards the back end, and that nutty character kicks in. On entry, I definitely get the Marsala character. However, saying that, if you've never had Marsala, then you're not going to know what I'm talking about. So I do get that sort of dried apples, maybe some dried pears, maybe a little bit of dried stone fruit, but it definitely is on the dried side, and because it has that sort of oxidative, bruised apple, browning apple character to it. I do get that nutty character, almost like a marzipan. If you've never had marzipan, marzipan is an almond paste. If you ever get an almond croissant and it's got a paste in it, something like that, you're eating marzipan. I like that this has a sweet entry. So it's not completely dry, but you do get a more drying character on the back end, and it's got a real nice long finish. So I like the development. I think it's got a lot of breadth. I think it's got a lot of depth. But I think this is a whiskey that is really going to have to suit a particular palate. I don't think this is a whiskey that's going to impress everyone. I like it, But I think there's going to be some people that they're going to find this a little puzzling because of the distinctive and unique character to it. It's not something that really grabs me, or I think necessarily I would immediately always be in the mood for it. And yet, having tried it, I really, really like it. So, you know, if you were to taste something like this and you kind of go, I don't know, but someone poured you a free dram of it or something like that, or, you know, it does well on ice, you go, this is kind of interesting. So it's kind of a unique character that stands on its own, that's not like any other whiskey, which makes it actually somewhat difficult to describe. And it's going to be something which, if you're just sort of in a funny, odd mood, you're going to really, really like this. So, what I'm going to give in terms of a score, structurally and all that, I really, really like it. I think it's a really well done whiskey. I'm going to go a solid, I'm going to go like a 90 points, I'm tempted to go a little bit higher. In terms of recommending it, I would have to know your palate and know what you typically like in order to recommend this. So, I am very eclectic in my tastes. I'm very eclectic in my music, in food, in whiskeys, in wines. So, I'm not super picky when it comes to all that. However, if you have a very more, I would say, particular palate in the way you like things, you may or may not like this. So, whether to buy it or not, if you have an opportunity to try it before you buy it, I would highly recommend it. Alrighty, that's it for this video. If you subscribe to my channel, I want to thank you very much. If you've not yet subscribed, but you like watching my videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe, ring the bell to be notified, and see you next time. Slange you out. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.